I cannot give up. Basira, hold on. You are strong. Concentrate.
I'm trying, Surak, but it's getting worse. I can feel my mind slipping. Fragmented. I'll become one of them. You have to get away from me.
No, I will not leave you here.
It's pointless. We share this fate. This is our end. The great... No. No, it's happening. Surak, run. I can't stop it.
What happened? Who did this? I see no one, and yet I can feel a presence. But how? I should be the last. Is someone there or... My mind turns against me. I must return to engineering and make one last attempt to restore the power.
Post-incident log. Something has gone horribly wrong. We were in orbit directly above Dazra, monitoring our current experiments when we experienced a sudden energy surge. I fear the source came from the city itself. It triggered our grav drive and jumped the Oracle to an unknown location. We thought members of the crew were somehow lost in the jump. But later, we were attacked by what I will refer to as Vortex Phantoms. I thought I recognized some of them. Could it be that the energy surge has somehow transformed them and warped their minds?
touched in the last jump. The gravity. Restoring the gravity may pull the cell into place. If I can get to the control room, if I can No! They are coming!
Post-incident log. I am one of the few remaining unaffected crew on the Oracle. Nadine, Basira, and Taras are the only others I was able to find. I fear it is just a matter of time before we succumb to this energy that is turning the others. How long will we last? And will my mind be strong enough to hold out when my time comes? Basira and I have programmed the Oracle to return to Varun Kai's orbit once it is able. All of our research will automatically be transmitted the moment we are within Dasra's range. I pray our work here was not in vain.
Why will they not respond to me? Work, damn you!
Warning. Gravity procedure initiated. Please check your surroundings to ensure personal safety. Restoring gravity in 3, 2, 1. Power cell connected. Report to operations for system reboot.
The Vortex Phantoms. Where did they go? Something is wrong. No! Not now! I have to hold on!
Mainframe reboot initiated. Commencing protocol. Station lockdown completed. All major systems on standby. Mainframe reboot completed. Warning. Station jump procedure initiated. Please check your surroundings to ensure personal safety. Jump in 3, 2, 1. Execute. Jump completed. Station lockdown released. Initiating data transfer. Incoming transmission.
This is Dasra calling the Oracle Station. We've received your transmission. Your orders are to send a representative down here immediately. It appears we have much to discuss.
Hold very still, and choose your words carefully. They will determine how long you live. You have no right to be here. You will tell me how you found this place. But it was lost. All communication ceased. There was no sign of it.
It was deemed necessary at the time. We will re-evaluate that decision in light of what has happened. Voris, I think we need not fear our guest. Perhaps, in this time of need, the Great Serpent has delivered us a gift.
Counselor, with due respect, we have not had unannounced visitors here in generations. It is a clear breach of security.
I do not disagree, and I know that security, in whatever small form we can grasp it, is of paramount importance. But you must acknowledge the timing is curious. And perhaps our guest's intent should be determined before we take further action. We received the automated transmission. But you are certainly not who we expected to find.
Great Serpent!
It's happening again.
Hear me?
Speaker, we are here!
We have reached out to you to seek guidance in our hour of need. The gate in the Citadel has been opened just to seek you. Have I failed you? What is this place? Where am I? Why do you not show yourself? I strive only to follow your command. All must serve. Please, do not leave me in darkness. I seek only your wisdom, your guidance. Oh, Great Serpent, is that you? Is it your presence I feel? I feel something, yet I see nothing. Is this a test? What do you require of me? Great Serpent, I have done all that I can. The Scaled Citadel itself has been transformed to petition you. I know that all must serve, but I need more. I require guidance. Take pity on us and reveal the way forward.
House Varun needs your assistance, outsider. Our leader, Anasko Varun, he has appeared like this over and over. So many of our people have been trapped in this state, these vortex phantoms. But usually they are hostile and lash out. Anasko is different. If only we could hear his voice, some reassurance that all is not lost. What do you mean? Despite the sightings, none have heard the word from Anasko in all this time, yet you claim to? Do not toy with me. Not about this. If you speak truth, you must prove it. What did he say? Aye, the Serpent. No outsider would know our creed. It is never uttered beyond this city. Truly, you did hear Anasko. You have been chosen. People of House Varun, hear me! We have asked the Great Serpent for deliverance from our calamity, and he has answered us. This outsider has been chosen as the most unlikely vessel for the Great Serpent's divine provenance, and she will help save us all. Outsider, please. There is no denying you have been sent here as a sign. You must help us. But there are precepts that must be followed, principles that must be obeyed. Even in these dire circumstances, we cannot turn from Jinan Varun's teachings. You will be granted safe passage through Dazra and the lands beyond. No harm will come to you. On that, you have my word. But to truly aid us, you must become part of House Varun. This is not a thing done lightly, and it cannot be taken back. Will you commit to helping us by becoming one of the promised? You must mean the Zealots. I assure you, they do not represent House Varun. We do not engage with the settled systems. They would attack us just as soon as you or anyone else. And they would certainly never extend an offer to join them, as I do now in this time of desperation. So, will you? Excellent. Please, come with me. Forgive me for not introducing myself. I am Malibor Dulkev, a member of the High Council of House Varun. I have been asked to represent the Council in this moment. Please, enter our city. You have my word that you will not be harmed. I would ask that until you have become promised, you avoid the citizens of Dazra. They are not used to outsiders. Open the gate! I must temper what I reveal for now, but surely you saw the scaled citadel as you arrived. It was the center of an explosion of sorts that has annihilated most of our city. We have lost many of our brothers and sisters. I believe we are still in danger.
Counselor, what is the meaning of this?
Is there a problem, Makula?
The city is in shambles, the speaker is missing, and here you are leading some outsider through our sacred space? Why allow this husk to defile our city? Have we not lost enough?
Have faith. I believe this outsider was guided here by the Great Serpent himself. And soon, Serpent willing, they will be one of us. But I can be sure and pass your concerns on to the rest of the High Council, if you wish. I apologize for the interruption. There is a ritual intended for converts to the Promised. It has not been performed in generations. We are fortunate that there are those still alive who remember the old ways and have remained prepared for such a moment as this. Herald Inaza, I suspected we might find you here waiting.
I saw the ship landing. I knew immediately that I would be needed.
Indeed you are. This is Inaza Kaisir, Herald of the Serpent. She will guide you through the ritual. I am needed elsewhere, but I assure you that you are in good hands.
So, the Great Serpent sends you to me. There is something about you. No husk that walked the Serpent's path. To enter this sacred cave, there is no turning back. You will be forever changed. This is a path you must walk of your own free will, alone. Will you step forward and emerge anointed, one of the Promised? You have not been filled with purpose by the Great Serpent, so you are merely a husk. But perhaps not for long. Then enter, and I shall guide you along the Serpent's path. Before House Faroon, there were humans. First on Earth, then scattered among the stars. And like all humans, they were lost souls, wandering in the dark, looking for a path. One particular colony ship housed several hundred of these souls. They were each alone and isolated. Individual tiny flames that could be snuffed out at a moment's notice. But Jinang encountered the Great Serpent and was given the gift of knowledge. They followed his guidance and his light, and they cast aside the burdens of their former lives. He shared his knowledge with those around him and lit the way for them. And thus, House Faroon was born. Now you too have the chance to cast aside your burdens to relieve yourself of anything that holds you back. The people's hopes and fears and dreams were entrusted to the Great Serpent. They made the leap of faith that brought House Varun to greatness. You may now follow in their footsteps and take that same leap. Embrace the Great Serpent, and he will impress you. The people of House Varun settled this world, at first in these very caves. Shinan Varun himself slept among them in these shelters. It was here that he spread the word of the serpent. It was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of their place in the universe. And it was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of the shrouding. The Great Serpent's return. He will encircle the universe he created, and all those who do not follow will be cast into shadow. And the people weighed this knowledge against their former lives, and saw how they had been blessed despite the difficult new life that was. You too would do well to feel that solace amidst the pain. Until that day comes, we are the voice and the hands of the Great Serpent. Our every act a sacrifice to hasten his return. Make now a sacrifice to prove your devotion. And remember, whether in life or in death, all must serve. Let us begin the final ritual. While none since Jinan Varun have stood before the Great Serpent, we can all feel his presence. To solidify this bond, you are presented with a simple choice. Before you on this dais are several items. They represent different aspects of House Varun's connection to the Great Serpent. Pick the two that call to you. Place them on the altars. Offerings to the Great Serpent that he may fill you with his spirit and make you promise. And so you arise, one of the promised of House Varun. Did you feel the Great Serpent working within you? Do you feel born anew? Yes, your confidence is impressive. To truly commit to the Great Serpent requires utter devotion and unending obedience. I grant you the title of Reverend. All will know you. All will trust you. Above us, in the grand ship morning, jewel of the Varun fleet, the High Council awaits your arrival. Serve them. Serve the Great Serpent. All must serve.
Greetings, Reverend. Welcome, Reverend. You stand before what remains of the High Council, advisors to Anasco Varun. We are all that is left after the disaster that has befallen our people. I represent House Dulkef. Jamal is from House Kadik, and we are joined by Lovek of House Vital. We are, all of us, hopeful that your arrival in Dazra and your clear connection to Anasco Varun, for the first time in weeks, represent some semblance of hope. But you do. We have only seen brief glimpses of him since the incident. But you heard him speak. How can that be taken as anything other than providence? Please, just allow us a moment to explain.
By all means, Malabor. I can't wait to see how you spend this.
Please, can we just for a moment...
Can we just for a moment what? Discuss whether or not to allow the first convert to House Varun since before any of us were born? A bit late on that, it seems.
You were not there. You did not see Anasco. It felt different. We have already wasted so much time.
You're correct. I was not there. Because you elected to travel to the spaceport on your own. And then decided this on your own.
Do not waste time with more bickering. Anasco, and by extension House Varun, suffers with every passing moment.
Of course, Lovek. My apologies. Please, Malabor. Do go on.
Anasco Varun, like his father before him, has relied on the teachings of Jinan to guide us. Anasco wondered if perhaps it was time to seek guidance directly from the Great Serpent, and so sought a means of reaching out.
Perhaps he found the teachings inadequate.
Careful, Kadik. You tread on dangerous ground.
I mean nothing by it. We simply were never consulted on the matter and do not know the full motive.
The point is that a series of experiments have taken place over the years, utilizing grav drive technology to hopefully make direct contact with the Great Serpent, similar to Jinan Varun's initial meeting.
And then something went wrong.
We do not know what happened. We were not inside the Scaled Citadel at the time.
Had we been, we wouldn't be standing here now. We'd be like the rest of them.
A great tide of energy emanated from the scaled citadel and swept across Dasra. Much was destroyed in its wake. Those caught in the blast have been left in a state of confusion, trapped halfway between our universe and the vortex. The citadel itself remains in such a state. Right there and yet beyond our reach. We can only assume that the experiment is still running, somehow preventing us from entering the citadel. We cannot get in, so we cannot stop it. We were beginning to lose hope before you arrived. Forgive me, I am no scientist, but as it has been explained to me, what we call the vortex is the space between universes. Your arrival and your interaction with Anasco shows that he can still be saved. A plan had been devised to access the Citadel, but the work stalled. Clearly, it is time to move forward with it. The current head of our science team, Ekris, should be in Jinan Plaza down below us, towards the Citadel. Tell him about your experience with Anasco, and that work on the morning device must proceed.
Scientists out at Hamadi Station?
The old married couple? Azad and Shireen, if I remember right. I've met them a few times.
Salutations.
We will all be lucky to see the end of the year. Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir. And given the state of things, that is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor, Reverend? Did he now? How magnanimous. But approval is approval, and I will gladly take it. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of it I barely understand myself. One cannot help but notice the energy field around the scaled citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in the way. Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and every one realized they could potentially use it for leverage. What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiations. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating. The Council just so happens to represent the 3 houses under Varun's banner, who are also entrusted with various aspects of running, well, everything. Each of those houses needs to contribute something to the project, so the Council is the final stopgap. Were the Speaker here, he could bypass all of it with a wave of his hand, but, well, you have already seen the state he's in. Indeed. All must serve. I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to get to work. If you're here, the Council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, That may speed up the process. The first convert in generations. The only one to have heard from the speaker since the disaster. Oh, I think they will listen. House Vetol owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea why they refused to send her. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the speaker. And for House Varun. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate this. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. Yes, exactly. I am glad I am not the only one who can see that. Does nothing to make the loss any easier, but still. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have the materials. And depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage. Yes, depending on how much trouble you're getting into. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this.
If it is a bottle of Gauze you need,
since you've been accepted, I wonder if you'll see our influence on the systems.
This is exactly the impression we don't want to give.
Please, Jamal. Don't you see how all this works in our favor? It's not up for discussion. I won't risk what we've worked so hard to achieve. It's done.
No, you'd risk our future and reputation as a house. But you are the chosen elder.
Don't patronize me. The Great Serpent spared our house. We are favored here. And shouldn't you get back to the council? We can't afford to be absent at a time like this.
I guarantee I'm not missing much. But you're right. I'll be heading back soon enough. Something I can do for you?
So, Ekris has sent our newest reverend to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry. Jimal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, Elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction. Well, it's also an honor to meet one as interesting as yourself. I wouldn't have suspected an outsider to be made promised. But who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice? I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers, but the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by zealots, and now they're demanding negotiations. As much as I'd welcome the expertise, the zealots would never allow an outsider to participate. But the negotiations aren't where I need assistance. The zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council or even the reinstatement of their house. House Maleen. They know we can't risk Sahima for Dazra's sake. So, they won't hold back when it comes to demands. Aha. My thoughts exactly. Normally I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here. Present. I couldn't risk more lives. It's the only reason I even agreed to these negotiations. But now that you're here, I can finally take action. And that's where the issue lies. I don't know where the zealots are keeping Sahima, but I have a good idea who does. Their name is Merrick. Merrick is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated. I suppose this looks very black and white to you. If only that were the case. As I said, Merrick works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now, on my orders. Forcing them to give up the information could jeopardize all they've worked for. So don't expect them to be forthcoming. Get the information any way you see fit, as long as no physical harm comes to them. Merrick is proud of what they've accomplished, so I doubt they'll give up information easily. If being persuasive isn't your strong suit, perhaps appealing to their substantial ego may help. If you can stomach it. Just don't be direct. I'm sure it would put them on the defensive. Either that, or make them completely unwilling to talk. See that you do. You'll find Merrick upstairs in the meditation room.
You're no member of House Kadik. What are you doing here? Oh, so you're the heretic turned reverend who thinks they're one of us now. So tell me, what would a chosen one such as yourself want with someone like me? I'm sorry, did you say zealots? Why would I know anything about such extremists? Absolutely ridiculous. Did she now? I guess this means the High Council is still asking Auntie Razma where Sahima is. And if you're here making demands, she obviously has decided to make use of you rather than undergo sincere negotiations. I see what's going on here. On the contrary, I know how important it is to keep that information confidential. I've worked hard to obtain my position with the Zealots. And like I've told Rosma 1,000 times, I have no reason to believe they're going to hurt my dear cousins, especially Sahima. So, as far as I'm concerned, that information stays with me. Oh, I don't think so. I do have a gift. I suppose that's a possibility. All right, I'll let you in on their location. But remember, you're the only one that knows. If word spreads, I'll know exactly who's to blame. The location you're looking for is Shadow Station Epsilon. It's an old Varun base that they've taken over for themselves. Rosma will know it. Let her tell you the details, seeing as how I'm about to be reassigned. Watch your tone. You may be promised, but you're still an outsider.
I pray you were successful. You must have gotten the location. I figured they wouldn't be completely forthcoming. If my intel is correct, you can find Shadow Station Epsilon in the Badlands, north of Dazra. I can send you the coordinates. Shadow Station Epsilon is one of many Zealot bases scattered throughout. As I mentioned before, I wasn't willing to risk agent lives in order to scout them all. The sooner the better. Now that we have a rescue mission underway, I'll speak to Merrick about setting up the negotiations. I expect them to be pliable after their last encounter with you. The current plan is to hold them at one of the geothermal power stations. Meet us there when Sahima and the others are safe. Good. Serpent willing. Your timing will line up. I'll stall the Zealots as long as I can, which shouldn't be an issue. That being said, I'd still appreciate it if you could act quickly. Now, Jamal wants an update before you leave. Just don't let her distract you for too long.
Reverend, a word before you go. Tell me, Reverend, what do you know about the Zealots?
I'd be a terrible agent.
An oversimplified observation, but correct nonetheless. The Zealots are widely frowned upon within our society. They're a remnant of the Serpent's Crusade, days we'd like to forget. Has my dear sister given you any history on our house's relations with the Zealots? I'm surprised she even mentioned that much. Rasma would have everyone believe she only wishes to keep an eye on the Zealots, so the Council can make informed decisions. The truth is, she's had this particular group of Zealots under her thumb for quite some time. This is only a problem now because she's lost control. That is the real reason why Rasma hasn't informed the High Council, and I'm sworn to silence. As a member, I can say it certainly is not. House Kadik already has a reputation for being sympathetic to the Zealots, but the truth is far worse. Rasma wants the Zealots to back House Kadik, so the balance of power between the noble houses would shift to us. She's been employing them, paying them in supplies that aid their blind crusade. The Council knows nothing of her work with the Zealots, and I aim to keep it that way. All elders have their own ambitions. I'm certain that's all they see. What none of us expected was the disaster that is the Scaled Citadel. The aftermath is what allowed the Zealots to grab Sahima and the others, flipping the balance of power in their favor. Razma has lost control and is putting House Kadik's reputation and power at risk. And that's what I wish to speak to you about. House Kadik shouldn't be associating with Zealots at all, except on an extermination level. But worse, we absolutely cannot be supplying them with ordnance of any kind. We need to cut ties with the Zealots altogether. How astute. I want you to put an end to any connections between House Kadik and the Zealots. And while my position won't allow me to be blunt, I'll still make it clear. Should the hostages not survive, Razma would blame the Zealots and cut all ties. I'm doing what I must to preserve this house. All you need to get is Sahima's research, which she has with her. I knew you'd be reasonable, Reverend. You'll receive payment when your work is complete. As you may have guessed, we can't afford any loose ends, and you'll need a cover story for Razma. When you arrived, the Zealots had already killed the hostages, so you exacted revenge in House Kadik's name. Yes, but don't worry. I'll be there to reinforce what Razma already knows. The Zealots cannot be trusted. You'd fit well in the Ministry of Conjunction. That is, if you succeed. I look forward to seeing you at the negotiations.
are you? Serpent's Grace, I knew it! I knew she wouldn't just leave us here to rot. It's more than just me. There are others. The Zealots have been using them to force me to continue my research here. They think I have all the answers since the original experiment was a catastrophic failure. The original experiment. The one that took out half of Dazra and sealed off the Scaled Citadel. Surely you must know. I'm sorry. I realize the elders and council members may not be properly disseminating this information. I'm not one for politics, obviously. So my theory is correct. Or I should say, the High Council now believes my theory, the better theory, is correct. I knew it! I told them their algorithms and insufficient testing were only giving the illusion of stability. But no one wants to listen to me. Not the girl who put people twice my age to shame when it came to assessments. Of course, this is what it would take for Razma to send someone after me. I wish I could have that mentality. And maybe it's not so much a desire to be cared for as it is a desire for acceptance. I overheard the Zealots mention negotiating with House Kadik, so the motivations are clear. Not only does the High Council deem me important, but Razma needs to remove me from the equation. I get it. But at least now everyone knows I was right. Yes, step 1 is freeing the others. The Zealots aren't aware of how I've been delving into their systems here. I told them I needed full access if they expect me to replicate Anasco's experiment, and I didn't even bother with risk assessment. They think I'm applying my theories to their poor excuse for technology down here. Granted, I could probably make it work if I had to. I've been in and out of every system they have here. The other hostages are being kept just beyond this room. I can disengage the locks to their cell and grant you access to an elevator in the room beyond that will take them to safety. You just have to clear out that area first, and the Zealots down there are different. Oh, I'm not going anywhere yet. While you get the rescue underway, I'm going to set up certain guarantees here. I'll meet you and the others outside. Well, you have to. I just need enough time to set up a remote device so I can launch a virus that will render this place useless. Think of it as a failsafe to guarantee our safety. The Zealots would never risk this base or their ships. No way. It's probable that we'll make it, and when we do, I'm handing this over to a familiar face. No offense. Now move it. You've got hostages to free.
you? You aren't a zealot. Who are you? The Great Serpent is merciful. And Sahima? Did you find her yet? I wish it were that easy. The Zealots separated us. Our brethren are still out there. Please, I can ready my people here, but you'll have to deal with the Zealots and rescue the others so we may all escape safely. We'll be ready.
Salutations.
A tactical retreat!
Great Serpent, save me. The Great Serpent has heard me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't thank
You did it!
for saving us.
It's true what they say. The air really does smell fresher.
Serpent bless you. We owe you our lives. Thank you.
Correction, it's time for you to get back. I'm going to stay back a moment and make sure everyone here is okay to make it back safely. I'll catch up with you shortly. Just let me know where the negotiations are taking place. Don't worry. Razma came through for me. It's only fair I return the favor. I'll be there when it counts. Now go.
Your intent to be unreasonable the whole time? I thought this was a negotiation.
We're having a friendly chat, aren't we? It's not my fault you don't find my offers acceptable.
Nah, just the person I wanted to see. Please tell me you bring good news. Exactly what I wanted to hear.
Razma, who is this? You allow any commoner to just waltz in on official business. I'd expect better security from House Kadik.
This is hardly official business.
Yes. And now these so-called negotiations are over.
Over? You'd risk everything after the whispers of a stranger. I demand to know who this is. You think I care about Anasko Varun, son of a traitor? Only a complete fool would expect me to believe this.
It's true, Mihail. And if you don't leave now, peacefully, I'll make sure your ships and Shadow Station Epsilon are made dust.
You... How did you... You're bluffing.
Test me. You think a genius mind like mine wouldn't find a way to hack into every system in your base? This remote device will launch a virus that will detonate systems within Epsilon, and reach your ships as well.
You realize how this may affect future partnerships, Razma. You'd jeopardize our connections.
It jeopardizes nothing. It merely restores the natural order.
The natural order. I could take you all out here and now. You know every one of us is prepared to answer the Serpent's call.
You're so willing to sacrifice your allies at Shadow Station Epsilon?
You don't think they're as prepared as we are? We all answer the call, and if that day is today, so be it. No, but it's the death they know is possible. Besides, you think I'd turn my back on the insults thrown here today?
You mean, do we think you'd throw away your life and the lives of everyone at Shadow Station Epsilon over your pride, Mihail? No, I for one don't think you will. And you can't deny our partnerships have been beneficial for us both.
We'll see about that. The entire refuge? It can't be possible. Our souls are prepared, but perhaps you are right. The Serpent would lose a very efficient disciple. Yes. Their lives are better spent in active service. Perhaps you speak true after all. All right. I won't deny my brethren the death they deserve. But I won't forget this either. Don't think this won't change anything, Razma.
Things have already changed, Mihail. From the moment you kidnapped House members. These negotiations are over. Now leave us.
You have no idea how satisfying that was.
Yes?
House Kadik is in your debt.
As am I. I owe you my life.
Sahima, you are a part of this house.
I know. I just wanted to say thank you. Personally. And here, it's the research and algorithm the High Council wants. I'm sure they'll appreciate it more coming from you. Oh, I am. Very. I just don't think the High Council is ready for the series of I told you so's that I would surely inundate them with. Plus, I think I'll wait until after they've proven out my theories to approach them on that topic. I'm going to head back home now to check on the others, but maybe come find me later? Great. You can find me at the Great House whenever you get the chance.
We'll talk later, Sahima. As I was saying, House Kadik is in your debt. You've helped me maintain a very precarious balance. And one day it will. But until then, they're a necessary evil. One that we'll be keeping a much closer eye on. I'd appreciate it if you kept this a secret. Huh. If you're referring to the members of House Kadik, the others involved know better than to speak of this. As much as it disappoints me, I can't say I'm surprised. Jamal's never cared for our view with the Zealots. And she has no love for those taken. But this is what makes her an excellent mediator. This will be discussed at length later. But that is a personal matter between me and my sister. But the truth is, House Kadik comes first and foremost. And she was willing to pay the hard price for what she deemed necessary. Had I been in her place, I can't say I wouldn't have come to the same conclusion. You and the rest of our house. Now, I have much to do, and so do you. Ekris and the High Council will be expecting you.
All I am saying is that I am not pleased.
You do not have approval to trade with me. Sorry, but you will have to get approval before you can... Apologies, but you're not clear to purchase from me.
Understand. I saw a Nasco, took measure of his burdens.
What you are describing is a dream, nothing more.
Not a dream. A message from the great serpent himself.
With all due respect to your craft, dear sister, now is not the time for incense and ash leaves. Or do you not see the depth of the crater before you?
On the contrary, brother. I see it for what it truly is. And if we ignore this vision, a Nasco will be lost to us forever.
Enough with the proselytizing. The Reverend has returned. Ah, were you able to find Sahima?
Please let Ekris know that I'll work.
Perfect. I have no doubt Sahima's work is the key to stabilizing the morning device. If only the others had listened to her, we may not have lost so much of our great city. This leaves houses Dul Kef and Vethol.
Politics can wait. Every moment we delay, a Nasco descends further into the void.
For the last time, faith will not remove the barrier. Science will.
It is the hubris of science that failed you in this moment. We reached out to the Great Serpent. This is his reply.
You claim he has forsaken us?
I do no such thing. The Great Serpent's reply is not an answer, but a question. Are we worthy of his grace? Until that is proven, your works will not succeed. I will forgive you for not knowing our customs, but I will not tolerate such blasphemy. But the proof is not in our words. It is in the vision. A Nasco's presence still persists in this world, and he seeks our aid.
Fine. I feel like I've lived this argument 1,000 times, and the only way to move past it is to concede to its nonsense. Reverend, speak to my sister. Agree to her fool's errand so that we may continue the work of saving this city.
The great serpent sends you to me once again.
Is everything going smoothly?
I have seen visions of Anasco searching for one bold enough to enter the heart of the vortex. And now that you are here, I know your arrival was no accident, but rather providence.
All we can do is our best, right? Let's just hope our best is good enough.
The great serpent has guided you here. From the moment you found the oracle to the words I speak to you now. Well put. The great serpent's works are imperceptible, even to heralds like myself. But rest assured, all will be revealed when you journey north. At the edge of the crater, you will find a cave carved by the anomaly. There, you will make contact with a Nazco Varun. It is as the great serpent foretold. In my visions, I witnessed two futures. In the first, you breached the scaled citadel, but found Anasco had sunk too far into the void. And in time, all of Dazra was consumed along with him. The anomaly spread, absorbing all in its path. The crater you see now is nothing compared to the destruction looming ahead. Indeed, but there is another path. In the second future, I saw you make contact with the Nazco, entering a cave through a formless wall. At its terminus was a gate, a path into the realm where our speaker resides. You stepped into this void, and in that moment, something changed. The false future, rewritten.
Roughly speaking, it could be that entering the vortex directly would allow you to speak with him. And while my readings do not show any anomalous activity, I admit there's a lot of interference. Still, that only emphasizes the potential danger involved here. I cannot approve of such an excursion on the minute chance Anasco is present. I am no heretic, but to risk so much on a vision, it is a leap of faith I cannot condone. I will not stand in your way, however, as Inaza has stood in ours.
You may not realize it now, dear brother, but our goals are one and the same. Then you must embark to the northern edge of the crater. You will find an entrance there, one that has no form. Step through it, find Anasco, and complete the vision. Only then will his voice be heard.
My sister is stubborn, bordering on obstinate. Sadly, we have no choice but to yield to them.
I speak into this void, and it answers with silence. Have you abandoned me, Great Serpent? Do you not hear my pleas? You understand me? Hear my voice? But I do not know you, even if you are promised. I hesitate to ask, but what manner of being are you? Do you truly serve his will? Yes, he works through you and built the path to guide you to me. I have reached out so many times to hear nothing but echoes. Yet you, an outsider, hear me plain. And for the first time, I hear you. Clearly your arrival here is fated. By stepping into this void, we are now linked. There is still reason to hope. The Great Serpent will see us through. But time is short. The bridge collapses. The gate is still open. The experiment still runs. Find me in the Scaled Citadel. I will wait for you there.
Sometimes it feels like we're not being.
Do you hear it? The Great Serpent speaks to you, guides you. You return. What news do you have of Anasco? Then my vision did not betray me.
Well, it would seem I owe you an apology, sister.
There is no need, brother. Your skepticism only strengthens us.
As you say. But, to the matter at hand, did Anasco mention anything that could aid us in his extraction? Yes, the pinnacle of the Citadel was modified to house the equipment to create a gate to the Vortex. If it still runs, that would explain everything we have experienced since the initial incident.
It is much more than that. Normally when I pray for Anasco's return, I sense he is lost, fading. But when I last prayed to the Great Serpent, I felt Anasco's presence clear and distinct. Even as it receded, I felt him anchored to this world. Yes, there are some who suggest that when Jinan communed with the Great Serpent, a similar bond had been established. I believe the same is true for you and Anasco.
I would need time to attempt a scientific explanation for why or how this happened, but for now, let us assume my sister is correct.
And that is the essence of faith. I do not know what lies ahead. My visions do not go beyond this point. But I do know this link would play a role. In fact, I am certain of it.
Agreed. And with this settled, we can now continue the work of aligning the noble houses. Together, we will find a way to complete the mourning device.
Apologies, but you're not clear to purchase from me yet.
Idle hands and minds are where heresy is sown.
This is foolish, Victor. The High Council needs access to the power grid if we hope to restore the city. Your inability to provide a legitimate excuse for denying them will only last so long.
Victoria is right. I know you're angry, but you can't let personal matters interfere with what may be best for everyone.
Personal matters? This is a Ministry of State matter, and I will handle it as I see fit. He is a traitor. He turned his back not only on his family, but on our people's entire belief system. The fact that he still breathes is a stain upon the House Vethal name.
You would doom us all with your pride.
I will do as I please as head of this house. If you are not a member of House Vethal, you do not belong here. Another High Council lackey come begging? I told Lovick no more.
Forgive my brother. He has been forgetting his manners of late. Victor, this is Anasco's chosen. You recall Lovick sent word.
I recall he spoke of a newly anointed promised. And we do not need help, especially from an outsider.
You can't continue to refuse the council. You must act. Your inaction is killing you.
Precisely, which is why he leaves me no choice but to say this. My nephew Varric has left, and until he returns, Victor refuses to assist the council.
These are hardly matters for the ears of an outsider. You have no idea what you speak of. You are an outsider. You have no understanding of our house.
Is this not the opportunity you've been looking for, brother? A third party capable of finding Varric?
Yes, you said so yourself. Someone with no loyalties to speak of. And if she's become promised, truly her arrival is more than coincidence.
Serpent, give me strength. You both speak true. Perhaps I have reacted in haste. Tell me, Reverend, are you well practiced in discretion? I hope your word is good as well. As Vittoria mentioned, my son, Varric, has left. Essentially, he has abandoned his post. And not only did he turn his back on his house, but the Great Serpent as well. He is a traitor and must be dealt with as such.
Victor, surely you don't mean it.
He does, Luther. He is allowing his fervent pride and anger to cloud his judgment. What my brother is trying to say is that he wishes his own son dead. First, we lose Vashti to that malignance tearing through Dazra. And now you so willingly offer up Varric. As if our house has not suffered enough loss already.
Of course it would. As someone from the settled systems, you have no concept of what the Great Serpent demands of us. I do not wish Varric dead, but as head of the Ministry of State, he left me no choice. All must serve. Those who refuse will be met with death. Exceptions show weakness, and we cannot afford to show weakness at a time like this.
We have done the same for less. You act as if death is the only answer. What about forgiveness?
I will not risk the Ministry's authority on the actions of my own son, even if he is my chosen heir. If the High Council wants my cooperation, I need you to find Varric and carry out his sentence.
And I would ask you to spare him. My brother is acting under impulse, not reason.
I have never been more clear. Speak against me one more time, and you will regret it. Varric has a signet ring with House Vithal's family crest. Bring it to me as proof of death. Only then will I grant you access to the power grid. There is no other way. The Ministry of State must uphold order, and you will be expected to serve, as we all do. I recommend you start by speaking to patrons of the Herald's Rest. Some of Varric's associates there may know where he went, but keep in mind, anyone who has directly aided him in hiding is an accomplice and shares his fate. Good. And remember, absolute discretion. All anyone needs to know is that you are looking for Varric for personal reasons. I will not risk word of his disappearance getting out before I can say the situation has been handled.
You do not have approval to trade with me.
Our sins must have been considerable.
Can I get you anything?
For the Great Serpent to subject us to
Varric?
this.
Depends on who's looking for him. And Vi, of course. We've been getting a lot of that since the so-called incident. Lots of people you're reminded you care about when half the city goes to shit. Truth is, I haven't seen him for a few days myself. But if you find him, tell him he better come check on his tab. I know he's good for it, but since he gave Eggy permission to use it, it's sky high. So that's the truth of it. All right. I'll give you something. I don't know where he is, but there's a man, Dane Salavea. He might know. That one's easy. Dane's a bit of a regular ever since Dasra went to hell. Just wait around a bit, and he's bound to wander in.
Best to keep busy, lest you lose your purpose, as well as your home.
I just cannot believe this happened.
A drink or two ought to lighten this mood. Hey, aren't you that outsider made promise that showed up here recently? Oh, wow. You really bought in, huh? I'm an outsider myself. It's hard to get into the whole giant snake thing. Tell me about it. I've been toting stuff back and forth for these people for years and still get the cold shoulder most places I go. But then these people lose half their city and you show up, and suddenly it's divine intervention. Yep, that's how I feel most days since I got stuck here. Anyway, enough about that. What can I do you for? That's so. Well, I guess that depends, Reverend. Who wants to know? Oh, sure. You just show up out of the blue and suddenly want to know where to find House Vathal's #1 son? And I know he wasn't lost to whatever ate up half of Dazra. Plenty of people have seen him since. Although, let's just say after what went down here, my retirement's looking imminent, and I haven't exactly been saving up for a rainy day. So if you're feeling generous, maybe we can help each other out. Nice to see we operate on the same wavelength. I'm pretty sure he's heading into the Highlands. Just not sure where. But I do have the means to track him. So you just say the word and we're off to the races. You make it sound creepy. But yeah, for emergencies. Yep, when it comes to my stuff, it's like a package deal. I'm not just gonna hand off valuable tech to some stranger. After you. Once we're outside of Dazra, I'll fire up my tracker, and fingers crossed, it'll lead us right to him. Just head out the west gate, should be the fastest route. Did they run? Just had to get a time. Go back to the day we met. All my years and all the planets I've been on. Never gonna get used to those things. You got that right. Damn House Varone. Wiping out half their city and bringing in horrors like these. At least I don't see a body around here, so I hope that means Varric's alive. You find anything? Injured? Hope he doesn't bleed out by the time we find him. Well, what's next? Varric must have fled in a hurry since his tracker's still here. So guess the rest is up to us. Sounds like a plan. And hopefully that injury slows him down enough for us to catch up. Let's head back down and see what we can find. And by we, I mean you.
Interference with caregiving tasks will not be tolerated.
That's far enough, strangers. You want to tell me what you're doing on my property uninvited? Well, you won't find him here. This isn't exactly the type of place where house members frequent. I can understand that, but I can't help you. The only people here are my partner Zen and our daughter Mila. No one comes around here. We're isolated, and that's the way we like it. That's a generous offer.
Irina, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Zen, yes, I know quite well. Never mind my partner, they're just overly cautious. As I said before, I've never seen Varric Bethal. We keep to ourselves. There's no reason for a path to cross. But we did aid an injured young man a few days ago.
That's gotta be Varric.
It's too coincidental. It must have been him. We sent him north. There's a long-abandoned growth farm we felt he could make use of. He claimed he lost everything in the incident that swallowed half of Dazra. He wanted to start a new life. We even gave him 2 of our own growths to get started.
Thanks for the help.
All must serve.
been a minute since I stretched the old legs. Nothing going on out here. How about you? Find anything? Sounds like it's a waiting game then.
It seems I have uninvited guests. You want to explain yourselves?
Whoa, hey, it's me. Dang. Put the gun down already.
It's not you I'm concerned about. It's your friend. I wish I could say I was pleased to meet you, but something tells me this isn't a social call. Please, if you're here on my father's orders, allow me to plead my case. I'm glad someone does for once. I am not sure how familiar you are with our culture, but all I've ever wanted was the right to choose. I was born House Vithal. I was raised to inherit the role of Elder, to run the Ministry of State, to worship the Great Serpent. But I want none of it.
They really got into your head with the whole promise thing.
It's never mattered how much I tried to reason with him. My father simply would not let me go. His pride and the fear of what it would mean for House Vithal is all he cares about. Only because of our antiquated ways. Our society is stuck in the past. Our culture isolates and suffocates. All I want is to make my own life. Something Tane understood and was willing to help me with.
The credits help too. But yeah, guess you got the whole scoop now. I like to call it looking out for a friend. I lost my ship to the incident, so I didn't want Barrick running off thinking I could just grab him and go. I was also out all the credits he was gonna pay me. That's where you came in. I figured, why not 2 for the price of 1?
So, now you know my true intentions for leaving, and given the circumstances, I may be here for some time. My hope now is to make the best of it here. I suppose I owe you that much. The truth is, the Scaled Citadel was the last straw. My people are so blinded by faith and politics, they don't see how it's destroying us. Anasko Varun eliminated half our population in the blink of an eye. My sister Vashti among them. I could no longer live in a society that won't put its people first. That would destroy itself in the name of a god that has done nothing for us. I understand that some people need faith as guidance, but Varun's society takes it too far. I hope you can see why I want to walk away from all this. To start my own life. I ask that you give me that chance. Anything. Name it. My ring. Vashti gave it to me. It's all I have left of her since the cataclysm. The disaster took every physical reminder of her except for this ring. Just wiped her from existence. You're right. And I know Vashti would want it this way. Take it. I'll find solace in the fact that the ring will remain with my family. And now I hope we are done here. Thank you for seeing reason. I owe you both my life and freedom.
Now that's over with. I'm gonna hang back here, talk to Varric a bit. Besides, I don't want to be around when you break the news to Victor. Do me a favor and find me at the Herald's Rest when you're done.
I pray the serpent still...
I miss our home, but the keep shall do.
You're back. What news do you bring?
What have you done? Varric.
This blood is on your hands, Victor. I hope you remember this. And I also told you to spare him.
No, it was Varric's choice. He knew the consequences.
You were his father. You were supposed to protect him. You think you are doing what is right out of some blind dedication, but you are destroying this house. You already lost one child. You had to murder the other.
Victoria!
I will not hear any more of this. It is done. Leave us.
Oh, I am leaving to mourn my nephew whose memory you disgrace with your very presence.
Victoria!
Leave her be, Luther. The Great Serpent will guide her. She will understand in time and emerge stronger for it. Then I can appreciate a tool that does not question. Ultimately, I care nothing for what you think. Now, only one matter remains to discuss. Did you find anyone who aided my son in his treachery? Good. I also have heard nothing of my son's disappearance, so I appreciate your discretion in this matter. You restored order to this house, and have my gratitude. Here, the access code that Ekris needs to connect to the power grid. Now go. I have much to arrange.
I would allow Victoria her space if I were you.
Sorry, but you do not have approval to trade with me.
The Ministry of State knows. This is what I have.
Another drink will not hurt.
Our fate lies in the mourning device. It must be completed. Ah, did Victor finally relinquish the access code? Ah, excellent. We'll finally have the resources to fully charge the mourning device. Now, let's hope House Steward Kef is as forthcoming as the others.
Great Serpent, please help me.
The outsiders, we must rebuild Dazra to its former glory.
Except we can't build without consulting James.
May the Great Serpent guide you. Remember this.
Excuse me, Reverend. I
do not have time to treat you at the moment.
We are stretched razors thin as it is.
Never ends. Is it not your job to help those in need? Why will you not help my family, my children?
We have examined your children and found that they were not in immediate need of treatment. Other patients are in more dire circumstances and require assistance.
So you will not help my children unless they are dying. This is preposterous. They are sick and suffering.
I confess, I'm still adjusting to my new role. Greetings, Reverend. Malibor has kept me informed of the situation. The deadlock of the High Council. I hope your presence here means things have changed. Good. Good. I'm pleased that the Council is once again working towards a solution. It felt wrong not to help. Do you know where I was when it happened? The incident, they call it. I was in the temple next door, conversing with my cousin. I was in the middle of replying to him about, I don't even recall. Some meaningless bit of family drama, I'm sure. One moment he was there, and the next, gone. My cousin, the floor, the wall, just gone. I found myself looking out at the scaled citadel, unable to comprehend. And now, here I stand, the elder of House Dulkev. My loss? Yes, I suppose. Although, from an outside perspective, one could consider it a fair trade. Given my new role, perhaps even a gain. I agree. And yet, with the proper detachment, nearly anything can be seen as transactional. Those within House Dulkev are trained for it. You cannot imagine it. A single moment of pure, terrible silence. A meter's distance was all that separated me from whatever has become of Dazra. I find that through all the chaos and the scrambling since, my mind drifts back to that moment. I could be gone as well. But here I remain, spared. And I do not know why. And where is this forward leading? I'm sorry. I should shoulder my own burdens, not force them upon you. I've grown so tired of the Council squabbling, and I want no further part in it. I have no demands, no requests. All must serve. And House Dulkev is no exception. An attempt was made, but I admit it was not as forceful as it should have been. It was clear it was going to fall on deaf ears. Here is what I can tell you. Sometime before our current calamity, Enesco Varun approached me looking for information about his grandfather's time. He was frustrated at the lack of progress. House Dulkev keeps extensive records, you see. While I was never told the exact reason behind the inquiry, I was able to deduce a fair amount. I provided him with the shipping manifests from the time of the Serpent's Crusade, materials and equipment that suggested some highly specialized research. I told Enesco where those materials had been sent. Weeks later, well, you've seen the Citadel. You know as well as any where we are now. The timing is too close to be coincidence. Enesco returned from the site in unusually good spirits. He boasted of something called the Vortex Interlock, and that it was the key to unlocking some new unseen potential. Whatever records exist of this interlock were swallowed up with the Citadel. And as for the original site, executors were sent, but did not return. And we can spare no more casualties. So I suggest you visit Malin Dam to the southeast. I believe it is more than it seems. It is the only place to learn more about these vortex interlocks and what connection they may have to the events at the Citadel. And should your search be fruitful, make sure it is known that House Dulcev was proud to serve when called upon.
Have all the supplies been inventoried? Yes, I've completed that now. I fear to ask, but how dire are our circumstances?
Do not worry so much.
Do you not believe
I would do anything to sleep in my own bed again.
the Great Serpent will provide, but others...
You can't get in there, not unless you have a card. It's fine. It was built extra strong, and the railings are all sturdy. There aren't any sharp edges. So, you're trying to get in there? You're not the first person to come here recently, you know? Anasko Varun himself was here. I saw him, but he didn't talk to me. And there were too many other people around him. They all looked really serious. I heard he disappeared. Is that true? I never saw him come back out of the dam. But I did see them go in. They had cards that let them open the door. I found one after they'd left. I thought about using it, but I didn't want to get in trouble. Kavil said I should give it to him for safekeeping. So I did. Maybe he'll let you have it. He's really friendly. I'm sure he'll help.
The work is tiring at times, but important. House Varun must eat, after all.
Another day, another mouthful of seaweed. May the Great Serpent bless us.
No offense, but it's not your property. I only wish to serve, I swear. You are right, though. Here, take it. I am not sure I have liked anywhere, to be honest. The work is predictable, not too taxing, and Gamera lets me get away with less than others might. I could do worse. The aches and pains of old age would follow me no matter where I go. And if I could just get a good night's sleep, I would find all this quite acceptable. Goodness, no. Not a decent night's sleep in years, at least that I can recall. The aforementioned aches and pains at first, but over time I find my dreams drift towards something dark. The product of an anxious mind with too many years. Think nothing of it. Always good to see a friendly face. Why would you care about the meaningless dreams of an old man? And are you one of them? I have this dream where I am a ghost, haunting long-abandoned halls. There are others, and we are trapped for eternity, doomed to roam this corner of the world of the living. I fear I shall never see the Great Serpent. Perhaps it simply means I worry I have not done enough with my life. Perhaps I'm not getting enough vitamins. In comparison to some, hardly any time at all. I stumbled upon this place a few years back, and they were so desperate for help. I offered my services, they accepted, and here we are. I suspect, given my age, that my story will likely end here. At least, until the Great Serpent decides what to do with me after.
Warning. Power fluctuations detected. Rerouting to compensate. Drainage pump control bypassed.
You are not welcome here. You will leave immediately. This is your only warning. I do not care what you think you need. Junon Baron himself charged us with the protection of this facility. It was his last order, and it will be carried out. Yes, I know this Nasco. He visited, reinforced his grandfather's order. The work done here must be safeguarded, protected, never permitted to leave. None but the Speaker may decide otherwise. And you are not the Speaker. You were warned. You did not listen. There is not. The Speaker's orders will be carried out. You must die. You would be rid of me so easily. The arrogance. The work done here has tied us to this place for all time. That is why we have agreed to guard it. Sister,
have you not finished this game? You should have heeded Karita's words in the beginning, little one. This is no place for you.
The outcome has not changed, Vedrasa. We are still in control here. I respect your dedication, but I also cannot stop. I swore an oath to House Varun, and I will uphold it. Do you even understand why you are here? What it is you are looking for? This seems a fool's errand. So, you do know something about this place. It does not matter. The interlocks are not yours. They belong here with us, and they will stay here. You should have left when you had the chance. Do you not grow weary of this? I assure you, it will not end. You are the one with the power to change this, either by turning around or dying.
This is turning into a most exhilarating exercise.
All this noise over one little trespasser. Let us be done with this already.
The experiments here have ensured our resilience. We endure because it has been ordered of us. House Varun's return to greatness begins with the work done here. And until that time comes, we will keep it safe. They are not yours to have.
Power grid destabilized. Containment fields failing. Backup systems risk overload. Consider manual shutdown at the earliest convenience.
No! You utter fool! Do you have any idea what you have done? Oh, you are so very clever. More so than Anasco's entourage. Those interlocks power our pods. You have killed Bethesda. What is more, you have disrupted the flow of power within the dam. You are one step from dooming those farmers on the surface. All right, hero. You have proven yourself a commendable opponent. But now, you have a choice to make. If you can remove the remaining interlock, you will have bested us. But you will ruin the lives of those above us. Or we can continue this contest of wills and see which of us is stronger. The choice is yours. But we do. My dedication to the Great Serpent demands my obedience to his speaker's orders.
Critical power failure. Dam function compromised. Emergency evacuation protocols enacted. Please exit the facility.
Everything we ever had.
My whole life, drowned. This farm is the only place I have ever known. Now I have nothing.
What will we do now?
Now that we have access to full power, we've been able to run proper tests. I am old and my eyesight is not what it used to be, but I know the face of success when I see it. Your lead from House Dulkef paid off. I have heard of such a thing. Recently, in fact, just before the accident. That is apparently not a coincidence. We do not need it for the device, but if this accounts for some of the leaps in progress in the Citadel, you may wish to hold on to it. As much as I have devoted my life to science, one cannot deny that there is an occasional spark of the divine. The Great Serpent has use for this, and you, still to come. Your timing is excellent, in fact. I believe we are ready to proceed. Just a few quick preparations. Creating the necessary connections. It is done. Reverend, will you do us the honor? All personnel to stations. Clear the platform.
Activating power grid interlink.
Powering grav drive.
Field projector, standing by.
Standing stabilizers.
Grav field, stable.
Capacitors fully charged.
All stations reporting. Ready to proceed with targeting.
Targeting system engaged.
Calibrating lens array.
Adjusting counterweights.
Locking axial tilt. Device is in position.
It's time. On your mark. Fire!
This fine shell pierce the shell of the world.
Focus.
Beam on target.
Power drive, saving capacity.
It is working. Steady.
Attempting to stabilize
graviton.
Fluctuations in the grav field.
Hold! We cannot fail the speaker now.
Rerouting power.
Burning out.
Enough! Shut it down!
Cutting power.
Grav drive, cycling down.
Turning to 0 point.
Retracting stabilizers.
Shutdown complete.
Clear! Well done, all. Well done. We have done all we can. I am sure the Council is waiting to speak with you.
We may yet prevail. I was not certain this would work, but it seems the Serpent has blessed us.
You have always lacked faith, Dulkef.
One could argue that faith got us into this mess in the first place.
Enough! It is time for action, not bickering.
Agreed. We must secure the Citadel. Send in everyone.
Are you mad? We have no idea how stable this is. No idea what is happening inside.
Time is a luxury we do not have. Committing a large force is impossible. There have been reports of increased zealot activity, no doubt in response to what we have been doing here.
It would be unwise to leave Dazra even more vulnerable than it already is.
And, to be candid, we have no idea what will happen to anyone entering the Citadel. We must minimize the potential risk. It is only fitting that it should be you.
Really? I do not doubt our newest member's conviction, but...
What else can we do, She is the only one who can communicate with the Nazgul. Save as much as you can. Save it all, if possible, but... the Speaker must be your priority. Do whatever it takes to bring a Nazgul back to us. You are not the first to argue the point, but now is hardly the time. When you have returned safely, we can debate until the end of our days what part the Serpent has played. Focus on what matters now. We will speak again soon, I hope.
You're really here. Oh, I feared what I saw. That connection we made was yet another vision. This is real, is it not? I knew the Serpent would deliver me from this nightmare, that there must be some way out. Every time I have attempted to leave this place, I find myself lost, wandering, unable to see. There is nothing out there. Tell me, what of Dazra? The people of House Va'ruun? I have had terrible visions, a dreadful sense of loss. I had hoped what I saw was only some terrible nightmare, but I knew it to be true. You must believe me. We meant none of this. All of the research, the calculations, we thought we could contain it. I only ever wanted to help, to improve, to elevate House Va'ruun. You do not understand. We cannot simply leave. The chain reaction that started, it is self-sustaining. We tried everything. We had hoped we could complete the experiment, but then the vortex interlock burned out. You have one, don't you? I can feel the power from here. Then the Serpent truly has sent you to us. I wish I could guarantee your safety, but I am graced by the Serpent and have retained my faculties. So many of my people were not as fortunate. You will have no choice but to deal with them. The reactor level is below us. Bring the interlock there. We will need it if we wish to see this through.
Security lockdown. Overrun. Lockdown.
Impossible. System malfunction. All must exert. Locked down. This unit
As I said, a new vortex interlock is needed. The reactor must be stabilized before we can proceed. We did not anticipate that we might have erred in our recreation of the vortex interlock, or that we could overload it. Finally, it is time. Come, see what you have helped to save. With all that has gone wrong, all we have sacrificed, I confess I had lost hope. I grew up hearing stories of my grandfather's communion with the Great Serpent, the immense responsibility he was given to create and guide House Va'ruun. By the time I became Speaker and inherited that responsibility, so much had changed. The once proud glory of House Va'ruun was diminished. We had lost our way, and I alone could not discern a path forward. I required the Great Serpent's guidance once more. So, I set out to find him. Perhaps, but were that true, were he to judge me for it, I could accept that. It would have been worth it, all the same. Perhaps that judgment still awaits me, for thus far I have not seen his glory in person. I learned that my grandfather had attempted something similar. I found reassurance in that idea that he, too, sought additional instruction from the Serpent. And over time, I began to see that the Great Serpent had indeed left a path for me, hidden amongst the experimental failures and setbacks. This vortex, the place between places, and the energy it holds, could be harnessed, refined, directed. But we are so close. We are on the precipice of greatness. Utilizing the vortex energy, we have learned that we can create powerful warriors, capable of teleporting vast distances in an instant. The brave volunteers in this room await the chance to be the first wave of soldiers loyal to the Great Serpent and our cause. House Va'ruun can project force on a scale unimaginable in the history of the human race. Tinan Va'ruun's mandate can be fulfilled. The Serpent's crusade can begin anew. Despite all that has happened, their life support system has remained stable. Just one more sign from the Great Serpent that we are following his will. And now, the glorious honor falls to you, my faithful servant. Activate the pods, carry out the Serpent's will, and begin House Va'ruun's triumph! Yourself to House Va'ruun, But you are like all the rest. Weak of will, short of sight, a betrayer. And in the end, you have changed nothing! There will always be one more willing to serve, and once I have restored the Citadel, I will find them and send them out into the settled systems. Zealots! Of course they would attempt to poison this, as they do all things. They will not stop me. The work will be completed now! Come then, all of you! Ascend the Citadel, or squabble amongst yourselves. I will await you at the pinnacle. stooped to meddle, you have nonetheless served your part in the Serpent's plan. Neither you nor the Zealots will disrupt our achievement now. The gate will cycle one more time, shifting the Citadel into the vortex. You and those bothersome Zealots trapped inside will be cast into the void forever. And I will carry on the crusade myself. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be shut down. It, like the Great Serpent himself, is inevitable.
The Serpent demands a hunt.
Slowly, slowly. You have been through a lot. I cannot believe it. The Citadel is gone. There is no sign of Anasco. You failed. You brought us no scrap of hope for the future? I do not wish to suggest that I do not care.
I would do more than suggest. You are inconsequential compared to the Speaker. Why are you standing here instead of in Asco? Then truly, we are lost. Without Inasco, there is no Speaker. There is no way forward.
Perhaps. Or perhaps we acknowledge a simple truth. We are currently the government. We decide what happens from here.
You would dare speak of treason? Heresy!
I speak of survival.
Please, calm down, both of you.
This is not a time to be calm or sit idly by. This is a time for action. We, the three of us, are the High Council. All of House Varun looks to us for guidance. We should provide it. Indeed, we will. So we should name one. Right now.
That is not within our power.
But Lovek, it can be. We can decide that right here, right now. We can carve a path forward for House Varun. Or else, we can sit by and watch all that we have built crumble around us.
And what assurance do I have that the two of you are not just looking to usurp power for yourselves?
Then we let the Reverend decide. And we have a herald here as a witness.
An amusing thought, but no. Try again. Surely you cannot mean this. House Varun's survival is paramount. To say such a thing is heresy. You would brand yourself a traitor. This is a result of your escape, yes? You hit your head. You do not mean what you just said. Yes, of course. So. Then so it shall be. House Varun moves forward from this crisis and continues to serve the Great Serpent.
All must serve.
Before you adjourn, is there not one matter more to address?
I do not understand. To what do you refer?
To the matter of the Serpent's crusade, of course. The Reverend knows of what I speak.
I don't understand. The crusade was ages ago. What does that have to do with any of this?
Explain the meaning of this at once. Truly, that was the Speaker's wish? Then our path is clear.
Respectfully, I disagree. We are in no position to undertake something like that right now. We need time to rebuild, recover.
There is nothing more to discuss. If the Speaker calls for crusade, then we answer.
I can assure you all that he did indeed believe in it.
Then House Vethol agrees. The crusade begins. What does House Dulkef say?
I have no wish to defy the Speaker, but he is no longer here. The Varun people need time. House Dulkef declines.
No, I should have expected as much. And what does House Kadik say?
Both of my colleagues have made valid points. The matter is complicated. I believe that for the moment, House Kadik abstains.
So, one vote for, one against. And what about you? Should we take up the sword and fight for House Varun, or continue to cower here and pity ourselves? Yes, of course. Such an immense decision can only benefit from discussion. There is no question that we will have to start with limited engagements. For now, we strike where we can, make it deadly to travel among the stars. We put fear back into the settled systems, where it belongs. There are no innocent people. If you are not promised, then you will be cast into shadow. Jin Alvarum was very clear. You know how these things go. If we do not decide now, word will get out. It always does. Then we will have to deal with even more disarray. It is best that we control the narrative immediately.
We have only just survived the most terrible period in the last few decades. We need at least a moment to breathe, to feel some sense of relief. We are hardly in a position to begin any sort of major military operation, both in terms of provisions and strategic positioning. But if it is the will of the Council, of course, House Dulcaf will commit fully.
I am. Jinan Varun himself began the original Serpent's Crusade, and it is long past time that we return to it. We cannot share this universe with heretics.
It seems the prudent choice at the moment. House Kadik will, of course, accept the judgment of the Council no matter the decision. But to be candid, I do not wish to be the deciding vote in such a monumental decision.
Then do we begin the crusade? Then we have a decision.
Very well. We will notify the elders of the houses as well as our new speaker, and begin preparations as soon as possible. And with all of this out of the way, we will take our leave. You have been through a great deal and deserve a chance to rest. The home, of course, is yours. You deserve a place among us after everything. Know that House Varun is eternally grateful for all that you have done, and that the Great Serpent will one day grant you a place by his side.
There will be a lot of pressure as the new speaker. My sister can handle it.